I don't even remember how to do these. Hello. What? It's been a minute. I know. I had this whole bit prepared, but I honest to God don't have time to film it. I don't have time for really anything. Here, if you're an adult and you've gone to college once and you got your degree and then you go, man, I'd like to do that again. Don't do that. Because you don't have time to do anything. I mean, if your passion's to go to college, but like, you're not gonna have time. This should tell you how much time I have. It is February the 12th, and I am currently shooting my end of the year review. So this is gonna be, I do this every year. This is all the movies I've seen in 2019. Not that many. There's a couple that came out in 2019 that I didn't see till 2020 that I'll put on the end of the list. But overall, I'm just going to really quickly hit this, talk about all these, get something on the channel. Hello, you're lovely. There we go. There's a chance the dogs are going to bark because they do that all the time. So here we go. Right, you can't see. Right now there's a kitty right here. And he constantly is just climbing on me. He's trying to... Don't eat the tripod. Sorry, the cat... Alright, let's just... Here we go. So this is the list of the movies I saw in 2019. Let's just start at the beginning. Power through this. You and I. Here we go. First movie I saw was Us. Directed by Jordan Peele. Written by Jordan Peele. This weird sort of alternate dimension style horror film with elements of dark comedy. I liked it a lot. I think I gave it a B overall. I'd probably give it an A now looking back on it. I've watched it about 3 or 4 more times since it came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I reviewed the whole thing, and I'll link to that in the description down below. I have to burp. It's not coming. After that was Hellboy, the David Harbour version. Not too proud to say I saw that one. Also not too proud to say I own it. I don't know why I spent money on that. Probably because I like Ian McShane, and whatever he does, I'll just throw money at. But overall, that movie was very bad. David Harbour, God bless him, was trying about as hard as a person could try to make a movie better, to give it some life. But overall, pretty bad. Don't recommend that one unless you have nothing else to do and want to blow your money on a weird sort of horror action film. There are a couple sequences in that are worth checking out. Specifically, the witch's house is weirdly terrifying. After that was Cold Pursuit. I'm going to skip one. Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson. I do not remember what that's about. I think he's like a snowplow driver who fights the mob. I don't know. What I just said sounds like a cool movie, but I do think I actually liked Cold Pursuit. If I remember correctly, it had like a weird twisty story in the vein of like Shane Black almost. So yeah, Cold Pursuit, I think I enjoyed Liam Neeson not just beating the shit out of people, which is a refreshing after the 35 Taken movies that have been made. After that was Polar, a Netflix film starring Mads Mikkelsen, who is infinitely watchable in whatever he's in. He's this hitman who is being retired. They want to kill him so they don't have to pay his retirement. It's a weird story. He's part of an agency. He's hit his retirement. They don't want to pay his pension, so they're going to fire him. And by fire him, that means they're going to kill him so they don't have to pay him. But he ends up killing everybody, and it's a weird comic book-esque film. But I enjoyed it. It's fun, and you get to see Mads Mikkelsen naked. So he doesn't hang dong, but I mean, maybe if you look close enough. I don't know. After that was Happy Death Day to You, the sequel to Happy Death Day. Movie that surprisingly I really loved was the first one. I thought it had a lot going for it. Sadly, did not pay off in a way that it could have. It had such great premises being built up that went sort of nowhere. The second one takes like a weird sort of I don't know, Back to the Future vibe. Like, it's a time travel film, and it goes way more science fiction-y, and I genuinely loved it. It's sad they won't make a third one. I don't think the second one did that well, but it's a great little film to watch. Those two are pretty cool movies to watch if you're, got nothing to do. They're good Saturday films. That's what I'd say about that. After that was Captain Marvel. I don't remember a lot about Captain Marvel, except I liked it. I like Brie Larson. I think I liked Sam Jackson a lot in that, too. The de-aging was weirdly cool. I can't remember a lot about that film, but I know that Captain Marvel's a badass, and there were so many moments I was like, she's a Marvel. It also had Ben Mendelsohn in it, who could be in anything. I'd watch that man act out of a fucking paper bag and think it's the best film ever made. So that's Captain Marvel. After that was Avengers Endgame, a film that initially I didn't know what to expect, and came out just loving that movie. It is a lot. It's a lot to handle, and I can understand people's criticisms of the film. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I loved it. I'm a huge fanboy for Captain America, and they pay him off incredibly well in that film. So yeah, it's if you're a fan of action films, it has the biggest action sequence of all time in it, probably. So I mean, I think that that sells it, and it's just a good movie. It's got a lot of heart to it, and it's really enjoyable. Avengers Endgame, I liked it a lot. After that was Suspiria, which came out in 2018. I saw it last year. What do you say about that one? Amazon Prime original. It's got a lot. It's got a lot going on. I recommend it, but make sure that you don't watch it with your parents or someone who may be offended by things. The last half an hour or so, literally, my face just was contorted to a what is happening sort of, mentality. There's a sequence in that film that is so fucking gruesome. Not like viscerally, like bloody, but the way that this girl is contorting her body is like, it's spine chilling, and I haven't said that about a film in a long time, but that's how I feel about the new Suspiria. Whew. Alright. After that was Detective Pikachu. Went in with zero expectations. Had a fine time watching that. A good film. Very cute. Very funny. Ryan Reynolds sort of knocked that one out of the park. Didn't expect him to just say, hey, I'm going to be in Detective Pikachu as the main character. He did a good job. That was a really fun little movie, Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu. After that was Godzilla King of Monsters. More like Godzilla boring AF, if you catch my meaning. That movie sucked. And there's nothing in it. And it was boring, and I don't remember a lot about it. When the monsters actually showed up, that was cool. But everything else was so bad. So let's move on to Fire Fraud, the documentary on Amazon about the Fire Festival. I don't really want to give a lot away what happens in that. Very entertaining watch. These people are fucking nuts. Go check that one out. After that was John Wick 3, Parabellum. Fantastic little movie. The John Wick movies continue to entertain and delight with this weird, awesome universe they've built. Keanu Reeves, this role was sort of written for him, meant for him. He is violent and brutal and smart and suave and incredibly watchable, and this film is like, from the outset, it's just fucking go, 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 go. And it's a good time, and I really like those movies a lot. I'm glad they're making a fourth one. I think that's going to wrap it up, but I enjoy those immensely. After that was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Until most recently, probably my favorite film of the year. It actually still might be. It's way up there. I saw that 4 times in theaters, the latest Tarantino movie. Could be that I'm a shill for Tarantino, perhaps. I also just genuinely like the movie. It's a really good story. It's like kind of a hangout and chill sort of film until the last third, which plays out almost like a true crime show. Of course, with some changes because it is in Tarantino's universe. Don't want to give a lot away about that, but I thoroughly enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I highly recommend it. It's a fucking good movie. After that was Spider-Man: Far From Home. I don't really remember this one. It's got Spider-Man, so You know, if if you like Spider-Man, I bet you probably really enjoy that one. But he's not home in this one. He's far from it. After that was Ready or Not, a movie that I was really excited about, and peaks and valleys a lot in that film towards the end. They have an ending in that movie that is the most bonkers, sort of fucking insane thing I'd seen in a while. And because of that, two thumbs way up. Good little film, nice little sort of like home invasion, cat and mouse style movie that goes really off the reins, off the rails. But there are certain things in that plot wise don't make a lot of sense. So if you can look over that, you'll have a good time. The movie's worth watching for how insane the ending is. After that, Hobbs and Shaw, fucking Hobbs and Shaw. One is The Rock and the other one's bald. That's my Hobbs and Shaw rap. Loved it. Genuinely. I haven't watched a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. I think I've actually only seen the first one. But this one's in that universe, I guess. But genuinely, it's just like a good buddy movie. A buddy adventure film. It's funny. It's got huge action set pieces. The Rock is incredibly watchable. Idris Elba's a good villain. Everything in it. It's just a fun-ass movie from beginning to end. It's one of those films that it played at our second run theater here for like $3 a ticket. I think I saw it 3 or 4 times when I had nothing else to do. I just went and watched Hobbs and Shaw. I'd recommend it. Great little film. After that was Joker. I might make a whole video on Joker and my ideas about Joker, but I did not like Joker. I thought it was a very boring movie, a very spoon-fed film, trying to appeal to viewers in a way that made them look like they were idiots, but a lot of people ate it up. Not for me particularly. Joaquin Phoenix is fine. I probably would not have given him an Oscar for that, but that's just me. I'm not part of the Academy. I'm just a big schlub who only talks about movies to a camera. So, I did not like Joker. If you did, that's fine. Please don't comment below how fucking dumb I am or anything along those lines, because it's only sort of furthering how I feel about that movie and the fan base if you respond in that way. Joker is a movie. It happened. I didn't like it. Let's move forward. After that, I saw The Lighthouse, which I thoroughly loved. One of the better films I've seen in recent memory. Up there with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite films of the year. Really a visceral experience. Something that you definitely should watch with the lights down low and the sound way up. I don't want to spoil anything about that, but it's an incredible little psychedelic horror film with some of the best performances I've seen all year. So there you go, The Lighthouse. Not nominated for anything, because fuck the Academy. After that was Rambo Last Blood, which is the most racist film since Birth of a Nation. So let's move on from that one. After that was The Nightingale, aka Kill Me Now, the saddest movie I've seen in quite a while. It's on Amazon Prime right now if you want to submit yourself to that. It is a great, great movie, but it's also horrifically scarring, and I don't recommend you watch it because of how scarring it is. If you have issues with sexual abuse or anything along those lines, it is incredibly triggering for you. Believe me, do not watch it, but if you can handle that and stomach it, it's a very, very good story. I don't want to say anything more about it. It's crazy. It's scary. That's about it. Moving forward. After that was Knives Out, directed by my little brother, Ryan Johnson, the world's little brother, who made the most hated movie of all time, The Last Jedi. And people thought he was a hack and a fraud, and then he made Knives Out, which is one of the most, independently successful films ever, like an original IP. It's so good. It's funny. It's fun. It's smart. The cast is spectacular. It was nominated for an Oscar. It's really goddamn good movie. A great time. If you're a fan of murder mysteries, if you're a fan of wacky screwball comedies, if you're a fan of sort of like deep emotional thrillers, all that sort of rolled into one and shoved at the screen. Yeah, it's like Clue with a lot of heart. That's what I'll say about Knives Out. Really good time. After that was Dolomite Is My Name, starring Eddie Murphy, sort of his like little comeback film. Netflix original, biopic in the vein of Man on the Moon and Ed Wood, actually written by those guys. So it has that sort of vibe to it, that sort of feel. Not nearly as sad as Man on the Moon, obviously. This is a great little feel-good movie. Very funny, very heartwarming. I found myself tearing up from happiness several times. Really enjoyed that movie. Eddie Murphy's sensational, and it's a shame he did not get any recognition for that character. He was phenomenal. That's a great movie. Dolomite Is My Name. After that was The Irishman, the 3-hour-long epic directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Pacino, De Niro, and Joe Pesci. I, of course, loved it. That's not a big shocker. It is a great film if you can get by the de-aging. It is hard to sort of take in, but after a few scenes I found myself thinking, oh, this is fine, I can handle this. If you can get over the fact that 30-year-old De Niro walks like an 85-year-old man, where he puffs his chest and walks like this, then you're going to have a good time. Now that I've done that, you're going to notice it, but he does. He has an old man walk, but it's still a very enjoyable film. So yeah, that's The Irishman. I really liked it. It's a bit of a watch. It's 3 hours long, but I mean, it's Scorsese. What do you want? It's you know, it's great. I ran out of words to say. I'm trying to rush fucking through this. These are always so long, so I have to keep going. Here we go. After that was Rise of Skywalker. Didn't like it. Moving on. After that was Cats. I did not like Cats. Moving on. After that was Jumanji. Jumanji 2. Rise of the Doo-Doo Birds. I don't know what that's called. I can't remember the name of it. Nope, not Welcome to the Jungle. The Next Level. That seems like that was what it would be called. It's pretty forgettable, but I had a good time watching it. That's what I'll say about Jumanji. After that is 1917. Was my choice for Best Picture of the Year until I saw a movie I'll mention in a couple. 1917's phenomenal film. If it's still playing in theaters as this goes up, please go watch that movie in theaters, the biggest screen you can. It's obviously, the big to-do about it is that it is shot to look like a one-take using different sort of trick photography, but it's a very tight, crafted story that takes place in a war, and it's really, really good. It's not that violent if you have trouble with violence. I didn't think it was that violent at all. It's just a movie that, it's a great story, and it's superbly acted. It's really tightly written, such a great thriller with such good pacing that I found myself holding my breath for most of that film. Very good movie, 1917. After that was Jojo Rabbit. It was awesome. It was so awesome. It's like if Mel Brooks made a movie now, but made it have a lot of heart and good characters. Taika Waititi's doing some very interesting things in this movie, and I love him, and I'm glad that he's around making films like this, because this is such an original, unique, incredible story. So yeah, Jojo Rabbit's awesome. It's really goddamn funny. It's got a lot of heart. It's brilliantly acted. The kids are phenomenal in it. Just a great movie overall. Jojo Rabbit. Definitely check that one out. And finally, the last movie I saw last year, which I actually saw this year, that just won every Oscar in the universe, was Parasite. Oh man, and I could probably make about 50 videos about Parasite, but suffice to say, it is worth all the praise it's getting. There is a lot of hype for that movie, and it lives up to it. Sort of an unforgettable kind of... I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to really say anything about it. I don't want everybody who sees it to kind of go in blind, but it reminds me a lot of a really tightly crafted thriller that has great comedy, that doesn't have cheap laughs, like everything's super earned. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's a movie that I highly recommend you watch and just sort of sit and contemplate, because that's what it did for me. Yeah, okay, that's all I'm going to say about Parasite. That was a ramble at the end. I'm tired. Go going to school is a lot, but I got this cool dinosaur. So that's cool. I don't know what I'm saying. Hopefully I'll start making videos again. I have like a little bit of time in my week where I can shoot something and edit it and get it up. And yeah, we'll just go from there. I'm glad to finally be back on the channel. It's been a long time. Thanks for sticking with me. That's it. I still don't know how to end videos. So catch you later. I was going to make a dinosaur pun, but I couldn't think of one. That's a raptor.